Back in November 2025, one post on X blew up. It said Google had quietly flipped a switch, automatically opting every Gmail user into letting its AI read their private messages and attachments. That post got 6.7 million views in just a few days. People were pissed. And Google's response? These reports are misleading. We have not changed anyone's settings. Here's the thing though, both sides are telling the truth. And that's exactly why this whole situation is such a mess. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what Google's AI is doing with your emails, why there's a class action lawsuit, and most importantly, how to actually protect your privacy. Let's start with what Google admits. For years, Gmail has had something called smart features. These are AI-powered tools that scan your emails in real time. Smart Compose, the feature that suggests how to finish your sentences. Smart Reply, those quick response buttons at the bottom of emails. Nudges, the reminders to follow up on messages you forgot about. All of these need AI to read your emails. Not to train on them permanently, but to process them in real time, understand what they say, and generate responses. In 2023, Google upgraded these features with generative AI, the same Gemini technology behind their chatbot. So the AI wasn't just suggesting replies anymore. It could summarize entire email threads, draft complex responses, and even pull out calendar events and flight info from your inbox. Here's the critical detail most coverage gets wrong. Google says it does not use your Gmail content to train its Gemini AI model. That's a specific claim about model training, feeding your data into the algorithm that powers the chatbot. But your emails are being processed by AI. In real time. Every time you open Gmail. The difference between training and processing, that's where the controversy lives. On November 11, 2025, a guy named Thomas Thiele filed a class action lawsuit against Google in the Northern District of California. Case number 5:25CV09704. The lawsuit makes a specific claim that Google changed users' settings without telling them, enabling AI access to private emails, attachments, and other personal data. The complaint describes how Google's Gemini AI now has access to everything in your Gmail, your bank statements, tax documents, medical records, legal correspondence. And it says this happened without meaningful consent. The lawsuit wants to represent millions of Gmail users. It argues that Google's actions violate federal privacy laws and that users never agreed to have their most sensitive communications analyzed by AI. But here's where it gets tricky. Google's defense is that smart features have existed for years, since before generative AI was even a thing. Tutorials on how to disable them go back to 2020. The question the court has to answer: did Google cross a line when it upgraded those existing features with generative AI without explicitly telling users? Google's official position is pretty clear. A spokesperson told multiple outlets, "These reports are misleading. We have not changed anyone's settings. Gmail smart features have existed for many years, and we do not use your Gmail content for training our Gemini AI model." And technically, they're not wrong. The setting was already checked by default. It had been for years. Google didn't change it in November 2025. But here's the problem. When smart features used basic AI, pattern matching and simple algorithms, the privacy implications were different. When Google upgraded those same features to use Gemini, a large language model that can understand the full context of your emails, the stakes changed completely. Snopes looked into this and confirmed, the smart features setting is checked by default in Gmail settings. They tested 3 different accounts, personal and professional, and got the same result every time. The setting lets Google use your data for 3 things: personalizing your Gmail experience, personalizing your broader Google Workspace experience, and this is the big one, improving our services, which includes research and development. That last one is where the privacy concern really sits. Improving our services is broad enough to cover almost anything Google wants to do with your data. On November 5, 2025, just days before the lawsuit, Google announced something else. Gemini Deep Research could now connect to your Gmail, Google Drive, Docs, and even your chat history. This is different from smart features. Deep Research is Google's answer to ChatGPT, an AI agent that can research complex topics by reading your documents, emails, and calendar. To be fair, this feature requires explicit opt-in. You have to manually turn it on. But the announcement raised a bigger question: if Google's AI can now access everything you've ever written or received, what stops it from using that data in ways you didn't intend? Google says their privacy policy and terms of service cover this. But critics argue those documents are written broadly enough to allow significant data use, and that most users never read them anyway. Alright, here's the practical part. If you want to stop Google's AI from scanning your emails, here's what to do. First, open Gmail. Click the gear icon in the top right, then see All Settings. Go to the General tab. Scroll down to Smart Features and Personalization. Uncheck the box. Second, do the same in Google Drive. Go to Drive Settings, find the Privacy section, and toggle off Smart Features there too. Google's AI access to your content is per product, so you need to disable it in each one. Third, if you've ever opted into Gemini Deep Research, go to the Gemini Settings panel and revoke workspace access. That's it. 3 steps. Your emails will still get processed by basic Gmail functions, spam filtering, search indexing, but the AI-powered features that read your content will be disabled. So what's the bottom line? Google's AI is scanning your emails. It has been for years. The November 2025 controversy didn't create a new problem, it exposed one that was already there. The class action lawsuit will decide whether Google crossed a legal line. But no matter how that turns out, the lesson is simple: if you're using Gmail, your data is being processed by AI. The only question is whether you know about it, and whether you're okay with that. If this was useful, drop a comment,